and my phone created an album of my wife with another man. Apple, Google, whatever you want to blame, decided to be sentimental on a Tuesday. I was waiting for a meeting to become a meeting when my phone chimed with that cheerful tyranny it reserves for memories. A card filled the screen. Together, Myra plus Roman. The cover photo was my wife's profile, hair caught in wind, forehead leaning toward a man whose face the algorithm framed like a lover. I didn't tap it at first. I stared until the word together stopped being a noun and became a knife. Then I opened it because that's the kind of man I am. I prefer bruises to suspense. The album contained 15 photos and 2 short clips my phone swore belonged to the same story. It had scraped them from different places. A bar with tiles I recognized, the conservatory at the park, a reflection in a window near our building, a hotel lobby with a stupid chandelier. In each, the machine's little white circles drew polite halos around faces. Myra, Roman, Myra, Roman, together. None of the photos were ours. They were ambient captures, stolen kindnesses. In one, the back-facing camera of a friend's selfie had caught them in the background, laughing at nothing and everything. In another, they were walking with the practiced distance of people who have already decided how close to be when watched. In a clip, they were leaving the theater. He stepped aside and let her pass so smoothly the gesture looked choreographed. I scrolled, heart making the dull thud of a drawer you've opened too many times. The album ended with a suggestion my phone believed was a gift. Relive these moments with a soundtrack. I locked the screen like a person slamming a book closed on a ghost. At home that night, I didn't bring it up. I cooked badly. Myra came in bright with weather and each other's opinions, set down a bag of fragrant bread, kissed me once, and spun into the kitchen like a small storm. We behaved, which is to say we did not say the thing while it still had heat. I watched her move through rooms we'd built together, watched how the light found her, watched how she effortlessly became content I could not control. It was Dasha who broke the stalemate. She texted me a photo of a menu with a note that said "Save me," followed by a second message. "Are you okay?" She is the kind of friend who enjoys gossip and hates entropy. I typed yes and meant "show me the exits." She sent back only a lemon emoji, which is Dasha for squeeze carefully. The next morning, my phone offered to feature the album on my homepage. Feature like it was a product launch. I tapped into the settings, found people and pets, and saw their faces side by side with a toggle that was daring me. I did not turn either off. I am not that kind of man. I made coffee, the bitter kind, and waited for the part of me that wanted to be a surgeon to wake up. I printed 2 of the photos. I did it the old way at the pharmacy down the street, the printer warm as breath. I picked one where she's laughing with her head thrown back, the one where her joy is not a weapon, and one where they're crossing the street, the gap between them electric and measured. I slid both into an envelope and wrote nothing on the front. Our office is near the river. There's a bench I sit on when I need to become a person again. I sat there with the envelope, feeling foolish and theatrical, then stood because the part of me that saves things hates becoming scenery. Myra works in a building with good intention and terrible elevators. I met her at the lobby coffee stall where they spell your name like a dare. She was surprised, then pleased, then alert. "You never come by," she said, and touched my arm like we still belonged to the same map. "I brought you something," I said. We sat near the window. I slid the envelope over. She opened it and went very still. Not guilty. Still, like a problem that wants to be solved correctly. The first photo on top, the laughing one, made her mouth do a quick twitched smile, the kind you deploy to hold back water. The second made her blink in the way people do when a camera flash steals a memory. "Where did you get these?" she asked, voice even. My phone made an album, I said. Together Myra plus Roman. She breathed out like she'd been learning to do it better. Of course it did, she said. It's a good curator. Is he? I asked. She didn't look away. He's a window, she said. Sometimes he is also a mirror. I liked what I saw there. I liked being looked at like I was a decision, not an asset. Did you sleep with him? I am not noble enough to skip the line. I did, she said, twice. And then I didn't. And then I thought about it, which is sometimes worse. And do you want him? I asked. I want the room that happens when I forget to be excellent, she said. I want to stop performing safety and call it love. You can hate the truth and still love the person who said it. I sat there with both of those animals on my lap, trying to hear which one wanted to be fed first. I said, let's choose the window, at home. She looked at me then like she'd been waiting for the sentence and had already voted for it. I continued, because I'm a planner even when I'm bleeding. 21 days, not 30. 3 weeks to undo the best habits that almost killed us. No secret rooms. No curated memories unless you make them with me. At the end, if you want to tell your phone to put Roman and you back together, I will help you teach it that trick. But for 21 days, we teach it a better one. She nodded. And what do you bring that I haven't already tried to buy? She asked, not mean, just administrative. Loudness, I said. Not volume, presence. I won't arrive with dessert and absence. I will bring appetite. I will touch you before the water boils. I will say want like it's a verb I respect, not a calendar entry. She folded the photos, slid them back into the envelope, and tucked it into her bag like evidence in a case she intended to win. Tonight, she said, be home early. Bring nothing I cannot eat with my hands. We made a feast out of tomatoes and cheap cheese in the heat of our mouths. I won't write the choreography for strangers. YouTube would approve and miss the point. It was small and deliberate and unscripted. We laughed when the salt fell badly and I licked it off her wrist and she said, yes now, like a thesis. Later in bed, she turned toward me with her hair stuck to her forehead and asked, do you still want me now? Not always. Now. Yes, I said. The yes did work. I had been outsourcing to honorable silence. On day 5, she forwarded me a restaurant confirmation and added, Seat 2, kitchen counter, 7 p.m. Wear that shirt I hate that you love. At the counter, we ate standing up while the cooks yelled nice things at flames, and we talked about what we want when we're old enough to forgive each other for not being young. She put her hand under my jacket the way you steady a glass before the train starts moving. In the bathroom, a mirror told me I looked like a man who believed in something that could fail and had chosen to anyway. On day 8, Roman texted her. Dasha had given him the number because this city is a village, and she showed me the screen. Photos made a memory, he wrote. Do you want to see it? She typed back. I am making one. Then she blocked him. It felt adult and petty and perfect. On day 12, I took her to the conservatory where one of the borrowed clips had been filmed. We stood under the glass ribcage of the Palm House like two people practicing a religion together. She pointed to a bench where the algorithm had once caught them sitting apart, and we sat together instead, thigh to thigh, the way teenagers do before they know how to be careful. I kissed her in a public place because I was tired of being very good at privacy. On day 15, I failed. I came home late, tired in that ugly way that makes you unkind without doing anything actually mean. I ate standing at the stove. I watched her wash a glass and wanted her and resented her for the wanting, which is a misery I don't wish on anyone. She said, louder, our rule when the polite version won't fix it. I said, I am afraid I am boring. She dried the glass and said, I am afraid I am a story you tell yourself to avoid having to feel things. and we stood there like animals that had learned a new word and didn't yet know how to lie with it. Then we did the bravest thing available. We went to bed, not to perform, but to press ourselves against each other in the darkness until our bodies remembered the language we keep forgetting how to speak. By day 18, my phone had learned. It surfaced a new card, together Myra plus Alex. The cover photo was us at the kitchen counter, flour on her cheek, my palm at the back of her neck, the blur that happens when laughter and desire occupy the same pixel. I didn't show it to her right away. I let it sit like a conspiracy, and then after dinner I airplayed it to the TV without warning. Music, photos, our stupid faces being alive on purpose. She cried a little and said, "Keep it," and I did. We met Roman once more because cities are unkind and revolutions make flaneurs of everyone. It was a Sunday market. He was buying pears. He saw us and did a carefully decent smile. "Your phone made me an album I didn't ask for," he told me. "It keeps insisting I was happiest in rooms that didn't belong to me." "Take the hint," I said, not cruel. He nodded. "I am," he said, to Myra. "There was a version of us I liked very much. He was a better man than the one I am when I am alone." She thanked him for the honesty. He left with his pears and his regrets measured into a paper bag. We finished out 21 days not with a trumpet blast, but with soup. It was raining, the kind of rain that makes the city smell like it wants to apologize for something it will do again tomorrow. We made stock. We chopped onions badly and generously. We kissed over the sink. We set the table like two people refusing to take their house for granted. After dinner, we scrolled our phones, shoulder against shoulder, narrating the way old couples do when they're so comfortable it almost ends them. New album cards had proliferated. Kyiv in spring. Weekend walks. At home with you. She opened together Myra plus Alex and tapped Add to Featured. Then she opened together Myra plus Roman and tapped Hide from Memories. The phone asked if she was sure. She said yes. It asked if she wanted to delete. She didn't. "I want the truth to exist," she said. "I just don't want the machine to sing about it." "Fair," I said. We made a small ceremony of sending each other one photo from our album every day for a week, with a caption that did not imitate poetry. This one was loud. "Here is you in terrible light being perfect. I like the shape of your listening." It was embarrassing and effective. Do I trust her? I trust us to be loud before we are secret. There's a difference between never betraying and not having to. We still fight sometimes. We still forget sometimes. But we are boring together less often, and when we are, we try to be boring with our hands on each other like an apology we enjoy. The algorithm hasn't given up. It still surfaces the old card sometimes, the one with his face, because grief has an excellent memory and loves a playlist. When it does, we don't flinch. We add a new photo to ours. We tell the machine to watch carefully. This is what together looks like when you stop curating it and start living in it. Last week I made a printed photo book, a dumb analog thing with thick pages and mistakes the printer couldn't correct. I titled it in ugly font, "Now." On the first page I put a picture of her hand on mine over a bowl of salt. On the last page I put nothing, a blank for us to fail and fix as needed. I left it on the coffee table like a dare. When she found it, she didn't say anything. She sat on the floor and flipped through slowly like someone reading a sacred text she had accidentally authored. Halfway through, she looked up at me with that look you only get if you've earned it and said, "Do you want me now?" "Not always." "Now." I said yes because I am practicing. I am still practicing. The city keeps making albums. The world keeps offering us rooms. We sometimes rent them as jokes, ugly motels with clean sheets, not to test us but to see how our laughter sounds against bad art. Mostly, though, we stay home. We cook. We fail. We kiss. We let our devices learn our new religion one tagged face at a time. Together means here. Together means now. Together means the photo you didn't plan that becomes the only one you can't stop looking at.